Chapter 2. Say unto your brethren, Am I, and to your sisters, Ruhamah. Plead with your mother, plead, for she is not my wife, neither am I her husband. Let her therefore put away her whoredoms out of her sight, and her adulteries from between her breasts, lest I strip her naked, and set her as in the day that she was born, and make her as a wilderness, and set her like a dry land, and slay her with thirst. And I will not have mercy upon her children, for they be the children of whoredoms. For their mother hath played the harlot, she hath conceived them, hath done shamefully. For she said, I will go after my lovers, that give me my bread and my water, my wool and my flax, mine oil and my drink. Therefore, behold, I will hedge up thy way with thorns, and make a wall, that she shall not find her paths. And she shall follow after her lovers, but she shall not overtake them. And she shall seek them, but shall not find them. Then shall she say, I will go and return to my first husband, for then was it better with me than now. For she did not know that I gave her corn, and wine, and oil, and multiplied her silver and gold, which they prepared for Baal. Therefore will I return, and take away my corn in the time thereof, and my wine in the season thereof, and will recover my wool and my flax, given to cover her nakedness. And now will I discover her lewdness in the sight of her lovers, and none shall deliver her out of my hand. I will also cause all her mirth to cease, her feast days, her new moons, and her Sabbaths, and all her solemn feasts. And I will destroy her vines and her fig trees, whereof she hath said, These are my rewards that my lovers have given me, and I will make them a forest, and the beasts of the field shall eat them. And I will visit upon her the days of Balaam, wherein she burned incense to them, and she decked herself with her earrings and her jewels, and she went after her lovers, and forgat me, saith the Lord. Therefore, behold, I will allure her, and bring her into the wilderness, and speak comfortably unto her. And I will give her her vineyards from thence, and the valley of Achor for a door of hope. And she shall sing there, and in the days, as in the days of her youth, and as in the day when she came up out of the land of Egypt. And it shall be at that day, saith the Lord, that thou shalt call me Ishi, and shalt call me no more Baali. For I will take away the names of Balaam out of her mouth, and they shall no more be remembered by their name. And in that day will I make a covenant with them for the beasts of with the beasts of the field, and with the fowls of heaven, and with the creeping things of the ground. And I will break the bow and the sword and the battle out of the earth, and will make them to lie down safely. And I will betroth thee unto me forever. Yea, I will betroth thee unto me in righteousness, and in judgment, and in loving kindness, and in mercies. I will even betroth thee unto me in faithfulness, and thou shalt know the Lord. And it shall come to pass in that day, I will hear, saith the Lord. I will hear the heavens, and they shall hear the earth. And the earth shall hear the corn, and the wine, and the oil, and they shall hear Jezreel. And I will sow her unto me in the earth, and I will have mercy upon her that had not obtained mercy. And I will say to them which are not my people, Thou art my people. And they shall say, Thou art my God. One of the most commonly used literary teaching tools in all of Scripture is what is called the metaphor. And that is used here in this chapter very well. And a metaphor basically means saying something that is representative or like or has another meaning. So it is saying, in this instance, the word Ami, which any Hebrew would have understood who read it, because in Hebrew that means my people. However, if they don't translate it, or they use it as a given name, which is what happened here with the King James Version of the Bible, it leaves you totally out in the dark because you're not Hebrew in most cases. People who read these aren't. And so you really don't understand how these things go. It's about 12 of them here in this chapter, and I'll cover most of them are. Ruhamah means those who have found mercy. My people, those who have found mercy. Okay. Number 3 is your mother, which means the nation of Israel. The 4th item is the wilderness, which is a metaphor for the captivity of Israel, going into captivity, being taken out of the promised land. the fifth item is the word lovers, the concept of lovers. It means the people who were the priests, the priestesses, the leaders, the idols in the Canaanite temples, which they were worshiping left, right, and center. I mean, these people went after this with absolute total commitment to the pornographic and lewd and morally corrupt worshiping practices of the Canaanites. And basically it also means anybody who worships anything other than the true God, or gives anything other than the true God precedence over the true God. In other words, if you'd rather go fishing on Sunday than go to church and do it, then the fishing trip is your God. And that's really what the Lord means here by lovers. In verses 5 to 9 and verse 13, he uses the words bread, corn, wool, and jewels. And these are just a metaphor for worldly values and the things people treasure. Where your heart is, there, where your treasure is, those things that you want, there will be your heart also. So the things they treasure. I mean, can you imagine giving up your own child, which is what these people did as Baal worshippers? They'd take a child that was born to them and give it to the priest to be roasted alive on the hands of these red-hot statues as an offering to a god so that they would get more grain in the harvest time. That's what the Lord hated. Now, in verses 9 through 10, he talks about nakedness and lewdness. And these are symbolic of the sins of Israel. And just their crudeness, their ignorance, their perverseness. Verses 11 to 14, he says the words, allure her. It means that Jehovah still cares for Israel and will try to win her back from the idols. It's going to be a cleansing process, but going to try to win her back. Verse 15, the valley of Achor, that was a rich valley near the city of Gilgal. It was known to be one of the most fertile places, if not the most fertile place in all of Israel. And that stands as a symbol to restore all the blessings to Israel if she returned to worshiping, to loving, to the relationship with the Lord with full purpose of heart. The next one is the word Ishi, which in Hebrew means my husband, and Baali, which was the name of the Canaanite god, was Baal, and it means my master. And what it means, what this stands for, is eventually Israel will turn to worshiping, to accept the true God as her husband, as her companion, and as her Lord and Master, who really wants to serve her and wants to be adored and loved and worshipped as part of that. Don't mean that in a subservient or bad way. Just mean it in a really good way. The next one is that he will betroth her, and that means betrothal was making a covenant of the marriage, and so he will renew or make all over again an eternal covenant with her that he'll never break, and hopefully she will never break. And last but not least, the valley of Jezreel, which was the stomping grounds of just about more wars than just about any place else on the face of the earth in the valley of Jezreel. And Jezreel means the Lord will sow. In those days, you sowed grain by scattering it, called broadcasting it. You put your hand into the bag with the grain, took out a bag of grain, and threw it over the ground so it would spread out. And so the Lord will sow. He will sow Israel again onto the promised land.